let's do a 10
Oh, let's do the
clip.
10 one.
Yeah.
Yo, mama. Did you get to experience American tipping? Yeah, I wanna complain about that. It's kind of fucked up. Like, I didn't pay anything, but she not paid with the card, and they take your card in the back, and then afterwards you sign on the tip how much percentage they're gonna add on top. That's fucked up, and that should not be fucking legal. I find that illegal. That's shocking to me. How the fuck do you take someone's credit card in the back, and then they give it back, and then they add more on top of that? Should they not do all of that at the same time? In front of you to see that they take this much? It's not safe. It's not safe at all. Did you tip 30%? I didn't tip jack shit in my stay in America. She not paid. But I'm not tipping jack shit. Wait, this is crazy. Do they actually do this?
Yeah.
Like they take your card to the back and then they come back? What if they overcharge you?
Well, you get the receipt, so you don't usually get overcharged. The biggest thing is that it's kind of fading out now, and I think a lot of restaurants have implemented things to stop it, but there was like a problem, I would say like maybe like 10 years ago, it was pretty bad, where servers would take your card and then they would like swipe on like a device to like steal your card info, and then they would have you pay as normal, and you wouldn't know it until it was too late. They've basically stolen your card info and then would make fraudulent purposes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, a skimmer. That's what the device is called. It's a skimmer. And they also put them on like gas stations and stuff, so they can steal your information. But I think it's gotten less popular because banks have gotten a lot better about recognizing fraudulent charges. But also a lot of restaurants now, instead of like taking your card and paying in the back, they have like a handheld tablet that they'll take to your table, and then you can just pay right there at the table. So a lot more and more places are doing that. So I think the old method will fade out eventually, but
I guess that's what you get in the land of the freedom. But what about the tip? Like, after they charge your card, you write down how many percentage?
yeah, you
And
write
then
down,
they
yeah.
take your card and charge again?
So they don't have to take your card. It's just in the system they can add how much that you said that they could add. And that's why you have to write it down on the receipt, and then they have to keep it in their records so that like if you were to dispute it, then they have it on record that like you wrote and signed to agree to like add $3 or add $10.
Can they sue you if you don't tip $3?
No.
Like, can they bring you to...
They can't do anything if you don't tip. You don't have to.
This is crazy. If you spend $100 in a meal, you have to pay $30 tip. $30?
Like there's a lot of factors that go into it. Usually I tip like 20 to 25%. If I was like actually being served and it was like good service. Actually, sometimes also when it was bad service, because I'm like, well, they tried their best, or it's really busy.
Can I like, if you have bad service, can I like tip negative tip? You have to give me money?
You can't.
Your service is horrible. You deserve the negative tip.
No, this is
I get the
what
money.
people do when they really hate their server. I've had this done to me when I waited tables. I deserved it. I was a terrible waitress. But they'll just leave a penny. They'll leave like a singular penny.
Wow, you know what they should do? They should just like give like 1 yen, you know?
That's where you could just like leave a tip in a foreign currency. They're like, what the heck?
Yeah, you could give like 51 yen coins, and they're like, wow, so much money, but it's just like 50 yen.
Yeah.
Well, I always thought like the tipping system in America is pretty crazy, because we don't have a tipping system here in like over where I am. Tips are not really encouraged. And it's more like if somebody tip you, you have to give it to the manager, so you don't get the tip. Yeah.
I'm not crazy about the tipping thing either. It's actually kind of exploitative too. Like it seems like it's good for the person getting the tip, but it's kind of not in most cases because they're getting paid a tip wage. Have you ever heard of that?
No, what's a tip?
So let's say, okay, in my example, so I waited tables for a while. So the minimum wage when I was waiting tables was $7.25. But I was on a tip wage, so I got paid 99 cents an hour. And then I was expected to make up to minimum wage with my tips, right? But I actually made less than minimum wage because I was working at a restaurant that had like this $6 like meal that you could buy that was like really yummy and everybody got it. And I worked the like lunch shift, so everybody would come in and get this like $6 meal, and then a good tip for me was like basically nothing. But here's the thing is that's actually like if you are working on tip wage and you don't make enough tips to add up to minimum wage, they are required to pay the difference so that they're at least paying you minimum wage. But that's not what anybody does, because what they do is they will like fire you if you do that. So if you don't report at least enough tips to say that you're making minimum wage, they just fire you. So even if you're not making it, most people will just lie and say that they are because they need the job.
What the heck? This is crazy.
Yeah.
What?
So, yeah.
I guess the rich do get richer and the poor do get poorer.
It's like that
Goddamn.
sometimes. There are some people who
Goddamn.
benefit, like if you are a server at like kind of a nice restaurant, like let's say you work at like a country club or something like that, you could end up making
Olive Garden?
No, not like Olive Garden. Not like Olive Garden.
You don't get tips at Olive Garden?
No, you do. You don't get good tips. I'm talking like a fancy club where only rich people have a membership.
Wait,
and they serve like steaks and wine.
Olive Garden fancy? Yo, isn't Olive Garden like fancy restaurant?
No, like opposite of that. It's like bare minimum restaurant, slightly above fast food.
Oh my god, my life has been a lie. I thought like Olive Garden is like some super Michelin star Italian restaurant that people like to go because you get free breadsticks, man. Free freaking breadsticks. What kind of place you go that gives you free breadsticks? I don't know, it's a 5-star Michelin place.
Almost all restaurants will give you free breadsticks. That's like very normal.
In America?
Yeah, like most places have like free rolls or breadsticks or biscuits, like some sort of, yeah, like bread that they'll bring out to the table, and yeah, you get that for free.
God damn. Wow. How nice to be American. Free bread. Insane.
Wait, that just goes back into Tidma's point though. Wait.
That's true.
There's a lot of overweight people.
If you eat so much bread, you're gonna look like a bread. Yeah. Real.
Fine then. Goodbye. Goodbye then. Goodbye forever.